Innovative.
Oh shit! I'm like, all right. Yeah, it's Tony Grams here. Just have to chop it up real quick. And start with a shout out to my homie James Lopez. It was a security at the break room, Long Beach, and like Fullerton, Pedro. Worked at Crow's Nest, and he was like shot and killed Sunday night right here in Long Beach, and in the bar over like something, just some bullshit. And it was just kind of was on like a bigger picture, just shit that just happens out here, and it's like randomless, like senseless shit, kind of. So I worked that same job with dude well, he worked next door, I worked at Crow's Nest, but they're literally like side by side. So it's like we pretty much worked together for like 2-3 years, like every night, just outside laughing and shit. If it was a scuffle, it was kind of like we both had to be in it, or somebody breaking shit up or chasing somebody through the parking lot. So it was it was always just something there, but it was like he was there when I got there. Shit, he was there when I left, and he actually replaced me at my spot like when I was gone. So, but it's almost like it's a different respect for people when, like, because I lived out there for about 10 years, so I knew everybody at the bar. People were coworkers from the port and different like warehouses out here. So it kind of feeds into too when people say it's like the police shit, like be from where they actually, the area that they police. It is not to be like a security guard or police, but you see like that same type of respect level of like people know you and you've like worked with them or grew up or like just known these people for a while. So when they see you kind of in a position of you have like authority there, they're not looking at it like it's challenging. It's like, oh, he's just doing his job and he's here. Like he's not trying to like lean on people. So that's how dude was. He was real cool and just like lost his life on some senseless dumb shit. It's just with security. It's sometimes a lot of security issues like that when we take these jobs and they're easy to hire. They scoop up everybody to, bring you in, and it's not on like the place. It's just like people do ignorant shit. So it's just certain shit just goes sideways, and that's the risk you take when you're doing it. But I've lived out here lived out here for at least 10 years, and it was just different issues at like in Long Beach with certain people. It was like certain shit boils down to race, but a lot of it is when people are in like close proximity to each other. So it's not that it's just it's like it is because you might be another race, but they're doing it like, oh, I know this person, we went to school together, we worked together, but they from over here, I'm from over there. So, but it seemed like a lot of it would get taken out like on like people that weren't affiliated or gang affiliated, like that's the type of thing you see a security guard get killed or a kid coming from school or. I used to live on the west side, and it was a big story that was on the news, and it was a dude, I don't even remember his name. I ain't gonna say his name, but so where I lived, there was a Hispanic dude, Mexican guy or a teenager that grew up over there on the right side of me, and on the left side, there was some black kids that I've been knowing forever. Across the street, there was some other black kids, and some of them were from like different gangs out here, and as they grew up and they all knew each other, they're all cool. So one day the black kid tells me, yeah, the Mexican dude next door, one of his friends, realized that they stayed next door and was like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the house up. And then his boy tells him like, well, you can't do that shit. That's my homies. Like he's been knowing it, but he's hanging with these gang members from this gang, and that's like a mortal enemy. So his parents find out, they're like, hey, we don't want him over here. So all this stuff like breaks up. About a week later, the same dude ends up killing a teenager on Santa Fe and like pretty much like Weller Spring, coming from school, like a 14, 15-year-old kid, like stabbed him. And it was just like when we seen it, we were like, damn, that's the dude that literally was hanging next door talking about he was going to do something. But again, he didn't take it out on actual affiliated gang members that were there. He picked a 14-year-old walking from school like with a bunch of kids. So, and it's like, that's like the shit I've seen a lot of it. I'm sure it happens. I'm not saying there's no gang activity where people lose their life in that, but it just seems there's a lot of shit where people focus on non-affiliated people due to race. And a lot of that shit, I've seen even like certain rappers, Snoop and Cola from the Doggy's Angels, like address that when they were making threats to black kids at the schools out here. And they were addressing like the Long Beach PD, like where's this like protection? These people are threatening our children. Talk about like we gonna shoot any black kid, I've seen, black women get shot at candlelight visuals out here, like old women. Like, that's not kind of like just how shit's supposed to be. And it kind of goes one-sided when you just hear about, or these people do something to these people, or, these people attacked a street vendor. And then that goes like nationwide, but you don't hear what other stories that happen to the other side. Not saying what happened to the street vendor is right. But it's like there's more than like just stories, and I experienced a lot of that shit. Every issue I had working at this bar in Long Beach, it was like this same. It was like it was cool for years, but the only time I would ever have to put my hands on somebody or like to like wrangle them up and get them up out of there, they were from this gang, and it was on some racial shit that they would overstep a boundary. And now I'm not even being professional no more. I just gotta like put hands on you. So it just seems like that. But that's about like going back to the homie. Like I said, that was a cool dude. And, the details are kind of like whatever right now, but the fact is he's just gone, and he shouldn't be. He had 2 young kids, and that shit's just fucked up. And just for it to happen in a bar, like I said, me working in that bar, I know how small that place is. So I already know that shit was like chaotic or just it was crazy, but I just was like, man, just shout out to him, R.I.P. and shit, we just keep it pushing. So, I don't know, I was talking earlier, telling you about the story about some of my uncles in Detroit before they came to California. So there was like, Detroit had a lot of singing groups. So this singing group will go unnamed, but they had a couple hits that people know if they hear it. And so they were like, street dudes. A lot of these dudes were like doo-wopping ass niggas with, with conks. Like, niggas walking around with a conch and shit. So, and some hard bottoms and shit. So, some tough skins. Like, but I don't even know what that is. I just hear old niggas say it and they sound like that was fresh. But my uncle told me a story about one of his friends he was a close family friend. I'll just call him Johnny because that was his actual, but I ain't gonna give you his last name. So Johnny was like a cool dude. He hung with my uncle, and Johnny was a known street dude. My uncle was a known street dude, but Johnny was kind of a really in the street, like hardcore known dude. So they're at a dice game. My uncle says, my uncle Johnny and these R&B niggas, they're actually brothers, I guess, that were in this group. So they doing their little shit. They shooting the shit. They, niggas is hitting them on the dice. So Johnny starts hitting these dudes hard on the dice, like winning. He's taking a bread, but he ain't cheating. He hitting them. You shoot. That's one reason I've never shot dice. Just I'll watch. I might side bet, but I'll just watch niggas sweat, just sitting there losing their money. So I'm sitting there. Or my uncle said, he said they making this money. They doing their shit. He says, Johnny takes their money, so after the game, they jump him, beat him up, pistol whip him, rob him pretty much. So Johnny, being the street nigga who he was, he comes back, my uncle says a few days later, he sees him, he's just chilling, like, on the side of his house, sitting on a milk crate, like, yo, I'm gonna get them niggas, blah, 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 whatever. So he's like, if you with me, whatever, we could just ride on there. So my uncle's like, I'm cool, like, I don't want no parts of that shit, but, they fucked you up, nigga, they didn't do nothing to me, so... He was like a week or so goes by, and I guess these dudes, knowing how Johnny was a real street nigga, they kind of laid low. So here about a week goes by, he can't find him, and this dude like literally just goes to the McDonald's where their sister worked and just shoots her at work, and just like and then literally goes to prison. This dude did all these years from like literally late 70s, early 80s, and just got out maybe 2 years ago, because he like the whole time he would call my family's house. My mom I've talked to him before. My mom talked to him. My uncles, my grandma. So he got out and he's back. He's on his normal shit. He ain't like doing no dumb shit. He's still in Detroit, and he's doing his shit. But just the fact of I was telling this story about karma, and it's like when people do shady shit and you do sketchy shit to people, you work people, and there's people out here to finesse shit, and they scam or they rob, but that shit comes back, and at one time it might not come back to you. It actually comes back to the people around you in the worst way. And like your sister had nothing to do with it, but now she's not here. So it's like a lot of that, like it just goes with karma. Like you can't do certain shit when it's not needed, or that wasn't necessary to go that far. And people think, oh, well, I'll just deal with it. Whatever happened. But it won't happen to you. It happens to the people you either want to protect, or you think, oh, they out of the reach or nothing, and shit hits them hardest. And then it's like everybody will be like, well, damn, how did this happen to this person? So just a story about that, and we just trying some new shit with the story time shit. I'm gonna get my thoughts together, my brains and all my scatterbrains, because I got some stories I go in depth. So this is innovative culture, just trying something new. Like we doing all these pilots right now, and the shit's working out because we got grind face shit popping. Still got innovative culture, shit, innovative conspiracies and shit. The effing mad podcasts, everything in between. So y'all niggas check it out, tap in, follow me at Tony Grams Comedy, and hopefully I still get my page back after calling Charleston White a bitch, but that I just had to drop that in there. But y'all have a good one. I like that.
Innovative.